OK, so you heard Kathy explaining why she has donated eggs and why she feels quite strongly that it's something you should do simply out of kindness, not because you want to make money. Alison Bagshawe is listening to that. Alison seeks out egg donors who are prepared to donate eggs for precisely that reason, altruistically. And that is why the organisation she's from is called Altrui. Alison, lovely to have you with us.
Good morning.
We've been talking this morning, Alison, about the fact that there is a shortage of donors. How many childless couples are there out there whose only chance of having a baby is a donor egg, who are waiting for that egg to come along?
It's a very interesting question, that, because there really aren't the statistics there. There are a number of people who come through into fertility clinics who are told that they can't have a family without egg donation or sperm donation, and then they go off the radar. So it's incredibly difficult to know how many people who are actually needing donor eggs. But the one clear factor is that the number of people on waiting lists throughout the country far exceed the number of donors who are currently available to offer them help.
And why do you suppose that is? I'm presuming the issue is the one of anonymity, that both sperm and egg donors these days aren't entitled to an anonymity.
No, it's not actually. I mean, we go out recruiting donors the whole time, and there's so many factors. I mean, firstly, you've got the criteria that they need to be within a certain age, which is 18 to 35. We've noticed, and it's a terrible thing to say, but actually obesity is making a big difference. We're finding that a number of people want to come forward, that their BMIs are too high. We're finding that the attitude of men about their partners donating eggs is, I mean, I'm quite surprised at that they feel very uncomfortable about their partner donating. And a very small proportion of people are actually saying, well, it is the anonymity issue. But the anonymity issue is something that, if you actually dissect it, isn't really there for egg donors on the whole.
Interesting. So should we increase the payments to encourage people to come forward, even if that means people are doing it for the money? What's wrong with that?
Well, I think what I found is that the donors that we're working with are just so nice. They're so incredibly kind, and I wouldn't deny them the opportunity to have compensation for their time, their travel, the inconvenience, and I think it's absolutely right that we should be reviewing it. What I don't want to happen is for the public attitude towards donors to alter, because they think, oh, well, they're being paid, or the clinical attitude towards donors being altered, because, that donor should just get on with it, because after all, she's getting 750 quid for it.
Well, frankly, I find it extraordinary that the clinical attitude should change when almost everyone else, as I pointed out when I was chatting to Kathy, everyone else in the fertility industry makes money. There are millionaires out there who run IVF clinics. Why shouldn't a woman who's probably doing the toughest bit and donating eggs, why shouldn't she see a bit of the action?
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that. I mean, I really don't disagree with it, but I actually think that this issue is donors on the whole that we've talked to aren't really interested in the money. They want to actually help because they have experienced, as Kathy said, family members or friends who have gone through the struggle of infertility.
But of course, but hold on a second, the argument doesn't really hold, does it? Because of course the women who are coming forward at the moment aren't interested in the money, because there is no money. And you won't know how many people are interested in doing it for the money until you do offer the money, surely.
Yeah, exactly. But the ones we do say, you are entitled to £250, travel expenses and loss of earnings. They say, no, we're not doing it for the money. This isn't about the money. And they actually feel really quite, upset about being offered money. And I'm not saying that's for everybody. It really isn't. And we will get people in. And I think the greatest thing this can do is raise awareness of how much we need people and how amazing these women are. And I think I'm all for getting that out there, really.
Would you have a problem with young women, and I understand this happens in America, 17, 18, 19 years old, paying their way through university by selling their eggs?
Yes, I would, definitely. I mean, I've worked in fertility for 20 years, and it is not without long-term risks. I think a one-off donation or twice donation is absolutely okay, but I think you're really pushing it beyond that. I also think that people's attitude towards themselves, their infertility, who they are as potential mums changes crucially in their 20s and early 30s. And I think that 17, 18, 19 is really quite young, unless you've got a very mature, teenager like that, who can actually comprehend and deal with the long-term implications of this.
Okay, fascinating talking to you, Alison. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, thank you very much.
Alison Bagshawe there from Altrui. I wonder what you think. Is there anything wrong with a woman being paid to donate eggs so a childless couple can have a baby?